Good morning, guys. Hope you're doing well. Today, I wanna talk about one of the things that I think is very underrated in life, and that's giving honest feedback. A couple examples come to mind. The first one is a friend of mine who was in a relationship with someone, and through their time together, some things would arise that would bother him, but he kept it internally. Like, he was somebody that didn't like confrontation or causing stress or negativity, so he kept them to himself. And I think part of it, he did it out of love too, because he was accepting things, um, and letting them go because he loved her. um, Later in the relationship, what ended up happening was the two of them ended up having some differences that were a little bigger. And so when they got into this bigger fight, he started bringing up all these little things that over time had accumulated, um, and really had gotten him to a breaking point. But for her, she didn't realize any of those little things that had bothered him and that had accumulated because he had never brought that up. And so it wasn't something that she could relate to because these were things that happened maybe 6 months ago, or whatnot. Um, and so it caused a lot of friction in their relationship. Um, Thankfully they were able to figure it out, but it's one of those cases where as soon as something comes up, say something. Don't let it linger, and don't, because that'll lead to resentment. Um, and over time, that resentment builds as little things that you don't bring up, that resentment builds. Another example that comes to mind is if you see a friend or family member you think that is doing something that's not productive in their life. Um, you know, a friend of mine was in a situation where they felt their other friend was drinking too much, and didn't have control of their drinking. But again, just being polite and, saying it's my friend's life, it's their choices, they can live how they want to. Um, my friend really didn't say anything. And again, this is a place where I think if you feel like something is going to an unhealthy level, you should say something, because it has to do with that person's well being and even other people's well being around that person. Um, you know, Again, the negatives with both of these is, there's a chance with being honest with a person that they get defensive, or, you providing this feedback might affect a friendship. And there's an inherent risk to that. And I think that's why often people don't say their honest viewpoints. But, I think the important thing in life is always being historically correct. Um, in situations like, a friend drinking too much, um, I think it's worth risking the friendship to have them have someone in their life that they trust give them an honest feedback on their lifestyle choices. Um, Hopefully they realize that the things that you're saying to them are coming from you want them to be better. Um, and another one, I think it also translates to career and supervising an individual, and um, that individual not being shocked by the performance evaluation. I think that often supervisors are hesitant to give their, again, their real honest feedback in an effort to be nice, or in an effort to say it's good enough. And then later, at the annual review, they maybe say their honest feedback, um, and the person's surprised. Um, so ultimately, I think with these three examples, I think it's important to be honest with the people around you. Um, First, to let them know how you feel about certain things. Second, to create less resentment on your end for the actions that they're taking. And finally, for their well being and improving. The person drinking might need to hear that from someone and might then reflect on, okay, um, you know, I should make some changes. And again, there are risks to that. They may know that and they may not want to hear it. And it might affect your friendship, but as I said before, I think it's worth risking the friendship for the betterment of the people around you. Let me know what you guys think.